Orange wine. It's kind of like rosé. It's kind of like red wine. It's kind of like Barocca sometimes. We're gonna try 6 of them, and we're gonna try and figure out if we can taste the difference between an Australian example of an orange wine and an international example of an orange wine. I'm terrified of this because definitely some of the best wines I've ever had have been natty and orange and all of that sort of stuff, but definitely the worst wines I've ever had have also been natty and orange and all of that stuff. Hopefully we don't run into any doozies this week. Join us along the way as we go through these 6. And hopefully I still like orange wine beer for this.
We're back with a Skinsy Showdown. So we've got 3 mini brackets, 1 Australian versus 1 non-Australian. I feel like Australia is one of the great countries in the world for skin contact wines. You know, we're biased, obviously. But this will be a little good fun one. So let's see how we go.
Wine number 1. Smells good. It smells like, I don't know, like raisins.
This is exactly what I personally look for. There's 2 spectrums. Either I want something that is like really juicy, really fruity, a little bit like if you're a beer drinker. I am actually willing to pay a decent amount of money for wines that smell like this, that are a little bit more leaning into that marmalade and grapefruit.
Very gold, proper gold. Really delicate, not quite as like juicy and intense that I was expecting. It's like ripe yellow peach, apricot, got this lovely kind of appley pear thing.
Oh yeah, it's got a little bit of something to it. I don't mind it.
Lovely, lovely wine. Really great lingering sort of linear acidity. It really kind of shoots through the palate, boom, makes itself known.
Okay, so they're all skin contacty things. In case anyone's missed what we're talking about here, like the way I describe skin contact white wines is essentially, this is like the rosé of the white wine world, where you've got like rosés that spend less time on skins, so they become less of a dense red color, and then you've got orange wines like this, which are white wines, spent more time on skins, so you end up having this sort of like, yeah, golden little hue to it.
This is finesse. This is well produced. I'm going 12. I think it's Oz. I'd happily pay $45 for this.
I would happily pay $35 a bottle, and I would buy like 6 to 12. I could be convinced up just because the length's just not all there.
$45 for that bottle. For an orange wine, I'll have 6 of those.
Wine number 2. This is much darker. Look at the clarity on that. That is beautiful.
Proper amber. We have to call it amber wine in Australia because of the great wine region of Orange, which we have fondness for.
A little bit smokier somehow?
Honey, like really spicy honey.
Bit more savory, a bit more spicy.
I'm surprised at how sort of like lemon limey this is based on the color. Like you'd be expecting apricots and things like that.
Moderate length, a little bit more than wine number 1.
I think it's even more muted than the previous one. I think it's just a little bit more casual.
If you come into drinking orange wine expecting it to taste like white wine or red wine, you're gonna be disappointed. It's not gonna work.
I'd happily drop around about $55 a bottle of this, and I would buy 12.
So 3, I'd happily pay $30 for this.
I'll have a dozen of those, and I'll pay $60 a bottle. I think this is definitely the international. I'm gonna say that's Italian.
And I think it is old world.
Francais.
Wine number 3. This looks like
rosé.
This looks like the old debate of like, is it orange wine? Is it rosé? Is it skin contact Pinot Gris?
Oh, it's reductive, but in a nice way.
Whoa, okay. Impact of oak here. Lovely. It smells Italian.
I'm really struggling to identify this nose. Tomato-y? I don't know. Italia.
Actually, this is Pinot. Therefore, it's not Italian.
I love the flavor here. It's definitely seen some oak. It's got this lovely, nice creaminess. It's nice vanilla flavor.
It doesn't taste of much, to be honest.
I dropped $85 a bottle for this, and I would buy 12 because that's a banger.
12 for me, 35 I reckon.
Just 3 bottles for me, thank you very much. $38.
Oz, I'm gonna go PG here.
New World, I think it's New Zealand.
Wine number 4, more skins, obviously. Your skin on my skin is what's been missing. Shout out to San Cisco. Big fans of them, and they're also fans of our wine. They like our skin contact wine, funnily enough.
Very obvious orange wine. Check that out.
Now, okay, this is serious. This is serious bizzo. This has to be old world.
Whew. Heck, if I was struggling to get a nose on the last one, I'm not struggling on this one whatsoever.
Lovely. Oh, wow. It smells like bonito.
Nani?
This is totally that umami sort of edge thing.
Maritime without the ocean is what it smells like to me.
That is serious orange wine. That fine, lithe, like wood grain tannin is just absolutely beautiful.
And it has almost like a powderiness to the tannin structure.
A little bit of like sour apricot maybe.
This is as serious as like orange wine can get.
I would part with $55. I want to buy 12.
Probably 6 bottles of it. It's not my, I'm going back to 3.
Number 5. We're moving into almost red here. Like this is
Borderline red. This looks like, that is...
It's almost like red hued space.
got a bit of oak here. I mean, not a bad thing. It feels like...
Oh, yeah. That smells good.
Yeah, good, fun. I think there could be a little bit of oak influence here as well.
The palate shape is really rich and full.
It's inoffensive, a little bit rose watery.
There's a little bit more maturation applied here. I love this wine. I'm gonna drop like $60 a bottle on this and I'm going to buy 12.
I'm going 12. Happy to pay $90 here. I think this is pretty serious.
A $50 bottle of wine. I have 3 of those as well.
One Aussie versus one international. All right, so we'll scratch all my previous things where I said it was New Zealand or something like that. It's there for Australian.
Wine number 6. It's gotta be Aussie. Yeah, look at that. It's a little bit hazy.
The haziest of the bunch.
We go on a haze town. So this is really fascinating. Of all the wines, they all resemble like little bits of haziness. Some are more than others, but this is definitely the most.
Wow. It smells like if you rubbed this on your chest, it would clear up a nose, like a nasal congestion sort of thing, like Vicks Vapor Rub.
There is a bit of Brett here.
Yeah, this is old world as
Nah. Tannin's really fine and structured as well. I think this is young. I think this needs a bit of time to mature. I think there's some great life in it.
Glorious structure, glorious length. $90 and I'm going to buy 12. I think that's old world.
And it's gotta be Aussie, and that'll be $38.
So I'm gonna go Aussie, but I'm gonna grab 6. I'm happy to pay $60.
Weird bracket, not gonna lie. My expertise aren't here on orange wine, but...
Old World wins in my bracket, if I'm right.
Let's see what the other guys think.
I had an interesting time with things.
I love this. I thought it was awesome.
This is good.
Barely any of these taste similar. It's not like, oh, here are 6 Sauvignon Blancs.
Yeah.
They are.
I did note the exact same thing, is that like none of these wine, this is the width and breadth of the orange wine category. I think everyone has kind of like, I think over the last 10, 15 years, people just thought like, oh, all orange wines are quite similar. It's like, nah, it's quite great width and breadth. There's only one that really looks like hazy.
Yeah,
that's about it.
That stuck out for me.
But across the board, I thought a lot of these wines were fantastic.
And the other thing we were doing was picking Aussie versus international. Do you reckon you did okay with that?
Well, yes and no. Yes and no, because I didn't read the Aussie thing. I just started guessing like New World or Old World or like...
Okay.
So I just converted all my New Worlds to Aussie.
That makes sense.
Even though a lot of these tastes are like totally New Zealand.
I didn't really go at guessing any varietals on these because like I don't understand how to pick
I had a
variety
guess of
in.
1, but that's about it.
Okay, let's start at wine number 1. I thought this was Aussie.
I thought this was Aussie too.
Cool.
Yay! Yeah.
Quite liked it too. Thought it was fun.
Delicious.
Very good. Very good.
Lovely nose. This is the sort of nose that I want orange wines to have most of the time. It's sort of what I expect, like that apricot-y, like...
I thought the structure was really good. I think this is a really well-made wine.
I don't know, for the purist in me, that sort of technicality of we're making skin contact wine, it's like red wine. It's just, you would never like just crush and and ferment and then send out a wine, red wine that looks like that. It just wouldn't go out cloudy.
Yeah.
But for some reason, because we're doing it in orange wine, it's all right for us to send out wines that kind of just don't look like skin contact wines. Whereas these are fine wines. These are beautiful.
The other thing about these is a lot of these, they don't meet the expectations of what you expect wine to taste like. So you always have to come at it with a completely different approach of, do you like the flavor of this? Do you like drinking it?
Oh, yeah.
And most of the time the answer is yes with these. I wanted 6 bottles of this. I thought it was gonna be $45.
I also would pay 45, but I wanted 12.
35 and 6.
35 and 6.
Dude, sickness.
That's us.
Yeah, sickness.
Well made.
100%.
Real well made.
Yeah.
So good.
Awesome.
Straight pineapple juice. So
We
good.
rock.
Yeah. Man, that is...
Such a good wine.
So, I mean, it keeps the lights on.
And not 35, not 45. How much was it?
25 bucks.
Yeah, depending on who you talk to. Wine number 2.
Yes.
This is my favorite wine that we had in this lineup.
I really love the structure of it. I think it just lacked a little bit of intensity for me. I think now knowing what the first wine was, it's like I was like, in comparison to the first one, I thought it had a little bit more intensity, a little bit more flavor. Whereas this one's detail was all there, but it just had that like lack of flavor. So in the Showdown, I preferred the first one.
I think this smells like peach iced tea and then it tastes like a watered down, but I think that's why I
peach
like
iced tea
it.
thing's really like peachy apricots.
Yeah.
So the apricots is botrytis. For something that I was like, I looked at these, this was so primary and this was so tertiary and secondary. I was like, obviously that's that borderline
Oh
between
yeah,
New World
it
and Old
is
World.
botrytis.
It's lovely. It's beautiful. Definitely wanted 12. Wanted to pay $55.
Yeah, I wanted 12 and I wanted to pay 60.
And I wanted to pay $30.
Oh, Vin Orange! This is ours. This
We
shit
distribute this wine.
If you are a venue in Adelaide and you want some great orange wine, this is so good. Give me a call.
And for our New South Wales and Victorian fans, you can get both of these wines through the Frankenbauer wine portfolio.
100%. Wine number 3.
My wine of lineup.
Oh, this was good
wine.
fun, eh? This is really good. I could drink this for fucking ever.
I don't know why this tastes like red Burgundy. For me, it smells like fine Pinot, like amazing Pinot, and I don't know why.
I think I know why it smells like fine Pinot.
Is it
fine
Pinot
Pinot?
Gris on skins?
I think look,
Ramato?
I saw this and I'm like, that looks like rosé. I've played this game before.
That's exactly where I went. I was like, Skinsy Pinot
And
Gris.
I think it spent some time in Newark.
Yeah.
And it's reductive.
I was just, it took my breath away. And then to a degree, I was like, $85
Wow.
and 12.
It's so cool.
I was 38 for 3. I wasn't as taken by it as the others. I had it as an Aussie wine.
But maybe it's a little bit too oaky for me. Like it's a little bit too vanilla.
bit of oak up
I
there.
still would drink the shit out of
It
it.
is
I
quite
wanted a
vanilla-y.
dozen. I would be happy to pay $35 for it.
How much was it?
It was 38. Pinot Gris.
Grauburgunder Pinot Gris.
Grauburgunder.
And this is
done,
VS Vignerons, Schmolzer and Brown. Tessa Brown, I believe, is the winemaker. She kills it. It is Grau, and it does taste like Burgundy.
Yeah.
Like a grey Burgunder.
Really,
Tick,
really
tick,
good
tick.
wines, guys.
Cool.
That's yeah, sick.
Wine number 4. This is where I thought it was going to be international again, and I don't know. It's not that they dropped off from here. I just think that I was definitely preferring the front half of the bracket in terms of what I would want to drink a lot of.
Because do you think it's because it's more primary fruited?
Yeah, I think so. Like, these all got a little bit just sort of like, it was just tannin and not heaps else going on for me. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's probably the primary fruit thing that's getting me over the line.
It's got a lot of tannin here. Like that's like a structured wine. It's
Yeah.
like powdery. It's really fun.
Wine to line up.
Oh, there you go.
Wine to line up. I
Yeah,
love this
this
wine.
always happens.
This is like high quality Italian. Italian, like Northern.
Italian.
Yeah, like it could be like Grabner or something. It's fucking awesome.
It's a very good
so
wine.
good.
Yeah, I had 55 and 6, and I thought it was Italian.
12
Yeah.
for 80.
I had 3 for 40. What is
Oh, this
Name
is from
is-
Georgia.
And our friends from Georgia.
It's Do Re Mi wine.
6 months of skin
Do
contact.
Re Mi.
That's a long time of skin.
That's a lot of skin contact.
No, that's the traditional Georgian way, which is like after harvest, put it in a big barrel, a quevry, bury it underground, and then springtime comes, uncover it.
Worry about it later.
Yeah,
This is probably my favorite Georgian wine that we've had on the show.
I don't mind the packaging too.
The
Like,
packaging is sick.
it does really indicate that this is the oldest wine style that we know of in the world.
It does.
It has got hieroglyphic kind of feels to it. That's really awesome.
Price point as well, because some of these Georgian wines, the price points
Yeah.
get like kind of like quite up there because of their rarity, but that's got quality behind it.
Wine number 5.
One number 5.
So both of these wines are actually very impressive.
Yeah, I think that the first half of the bracket's probably easier to understand, therefore. More approachable and more consumer friendly and more my speed, where I'm not, like when I was drinking these, I'm like, I reckon Brendan and Not love these things.
I was so into this. Yeah, real black tea energy, like
Yeah,
real
yeah, yeah.
high quality teas.
Yeah.
That's stunning. 60 and 12 for me.
90 and 12.
50 and 3. How much is it, Brendo?
45.
The great man.
State of Raisins worth.
That is the great man. Hard at work. 7 months, yeah. So
7 months skin contact Pinot Gris and Gewurz.
there you go. 6 months? Nah.
No,
7
try
months.
7, brother. One number 6.
I spent the most on this one,
Okay.
but not because I liked it the most. It's because I think it's going to be that expensive.
So like
Yeah.
the tippy top of Australian orange wine,
Yeah.
but it's not, so it's overseas, so it's just really good overseas orange wine. I thought it was great.
Again, I was in love with the first half of the bracket. These all got too complicated for me. It's cool. I don't get it. I'll be honest. I don't get these wines. Is that lanolin, that sort of smell on the
yeah.
nose?
Yeah.
I don't find that particularly appealing. Like,
But it's not for everyone, for sure.
yeah,
For
I
sure.
just
This
don't
is
know
a
when I would
polarizing-
drink this.
When you're drunk with a bunch of Soms in New York and you're like,
Yeah,
"Fuck
I'm
it,
just
why not?"
not there
You
very
can't-
often. I'm just not in New York drunk with sommeliers as often as you might think.
Yeah.
12 for 90.
6 for 60.
1 for 38.
And it was the princely sum of 70. And it was Italian.
Trebianco Tuscany.
I reckon we might have tried this before. This looks familiar.
I haven't.
This
I
looks
don't think we have
familiar.
it.
And Trebiano, we've seen it before as Skinsy wine.
Yeah.
It's pretty good Skinsy wine. Makes pretty muted, nothing else wine for the most part. And a lot of
I
brandy.
mean, a medio pepe might chat some shit. But yeah, for the most part, yes.
Yeah, but that's awesome.
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit.
That wouldn't go straight. But I mean, that's the most like wildly creative Tuscan wine I've tried in a long time.
We're all over the shop, guys, a little bit.
We are.
I mean, we've certainly bought a lot of wine. There's some that we've loved and some that we've hated.
Okay.
What are the stands out here? What is wine of the week?
You guys both loved this.
I do like the Vignerons.
Me and Brendan really liked this.
I could stand up for that. That was fun.
This was also there as far as does. I'm not giving it to Esoterico. I'm sorry, boys. Just
No, we're not giving it to
we're just not doing that.
It deserves it, but we're not going to do it.
We'll let them all know.
What'd you get? You got 3 on the second one.
I'm down with the Schmolzer and brown,
Yeah, Grauburgunder.
which sounds like Cockney slang when you think about it.
It does.
Grauburgunder, Schmolzer and Brown. They've done it again.
Get on the rag and bone
Yeah.
for some Schmolzer and brown.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks for joining us. You can get all these ones from different drop, and if you're overseas, like you might be able to find that somewhere. But talk to this guy; he knows more about that than anyone else. Cheers. Catch you next time.
Bye bye.